I'm sitting here talking with members of the Soul Rebels brass band. So if you guys could just introduce yourselves and tell us what instruments you play.
My name is Lamar LeBlanc. I play snare drum, Soul Rebels.
My name is Eron Williams. I play tenor saxophone. So.
Okay. And then if you could also, since the other members of the band aren't here, we're backstage in the 8th annual Haiti Jazz Festival. First time in Haiti?
First time.
Yes,
wow,
first
mine
time
as well. Mine as well.
Such a gracious time.
Oh wow! If you could just tell us the other members of the band and what instruments they play as well.
Yeah, we have Derek Moss. He plays bass, drum, percussion, and cymbal. We have Edward Lee on the sousaphone. We have Paul Robinson on trombone.
Okay.
We have Corey Payton. He's also on trombone. You already met him around tenor saxophone. We have Marcus Hubbard on trumpet.
Okay.
Julian Gosson on trumpet.
So you tell us about the history of the Soul. I learned a little bit from Iran a moment ago, but you tell us about the history of the Soul Rebels brass band.
Sure. Soul Rebels started from the umbrella of Olympia Brass Band, which was led by Mr. Harold Duke Deja, and the assistant leader for that band was Mr. Milton Baptiste. They took us under their wing early on, and we were like their junior band.
Okay.
So we were known as the young Olympians to the older guys who were, Olympian. But soon we had some members who were members of a band called Deaf Generation, which was the next generation of the Neville brothers, offspring of Aaron Neville, Cyril Neville, Charles, and Art. And they had a band called Deaf Generation. So they would let us open up for them sometimes at Tipitina's, the Neville brothers.
Okay.
It would be a whole show, man. It would be Soul Rebels, Deaf Generation, then the Neville brothers.
Wow.
But at the time, we weren't named Soul Rebels. We didn't know what we wanted to be named. We would go as Young Olympia, but we didn't want to disrespect the tradition. Olympia Brass Band was very deep-rooted in the tradition. They played all the traditional tunes, and they laid the foundation. So we said when we play Soul Rebels, we have to be something else. When we play this funk music, it was music that was funk, reggae, rap, hip-hop, and jazz. So we wanted to be the 8-ball brass band. Don't tell me why. Cyril said, no, indeed, that connotates negativity. So he said, I got an idea, why not be the Soul Rebels? And we were like, oh man, that's tight. He said, yeah, that comes from Bob Marley. So we stuck with that name ever since. And since 1991, we've been the Soul Rebels.
One of the things that's always fascinated me, just beginning to learn the richness of New Orleans music and New Orleans culture, is like made up of all of these, jazz families, the Harrisons, Scotts, the Baptiste family, the Marsalises, and I know the list can go on, but I almost feel like it also mirrors all of the many different brass bands that come out of New Orleans. So as you were talking about the Soul Rebels, are each of the brass bands distinctive in that you play like a specific type? Like how, in other words, how do you sort of separate and distinguish yourself from one another?
Not
Obviously the name.
You do have, each band has their own particular niche, their own particular swag, if you want to modernize the term. Soul Rebels, if you ask anyone from New Orleans, they know us to be more of an urban hip-hop kind of funk progressive group.
Yeah.
If you go to some of the other groups like a Rebirth, you know, they're known as probably the king of second line.
Right.
In the modern jazz, in the modern brass band era. Dirty Dozen, they're looked at as the innovators from when Olympia left off with their genre of it to what it kind of is known to now on the streets.
Okay.
Dirty Dozen would be that missing link. How they're similar to Rebirth, I would have to say. They play a second line style that consists of funk and progressive music. Now all of the bands dabbled in rap, but I think we kind of make you know, we're kind of known as being that kind of hip hop group.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you would know by the music and the style, and we try to throw in vocals.
Yeah.
You know, also, so other than just rap, we sing. But all of the bands are great, man. They all have put their stamp on history, and thank God for the forefathers. You know, the Olympias, the Dirty Dozens, the Rebirths, Fairview, Tuxedo, Hurricane,
all the different tornado brass bands, just all the people that came, Trimmy brass band, of course. Uncle Lionel Band, T.
Yes.
You know, all the different bands that came before us that laid the foundation for us. And you have your Dirty Dozen and your Rebirths that I grew up with. I grew up with Soul Rebels. I've only been in the band for 9 years, so I grew up with all 3 bands. So it's like a blessing, like just to be in this group and just to be on brothers.
Right. It's great to hear you guys speak about the different brass bands and then I mean I'm sure maybe there's like fun competition, but it doesn't seem like any malice or anything. Like you're with that band and you're with that band, so I can't talk to you, but y'all all seem like very much a tight knit community.
We have to be because we're such a small community. You know, it's not like the old R&B groups where you have Temptations. You know, Spinners, OJs. We're really only a small community, so it's imperative that we all stick together and let one be a stepping stone for the other.
Okay. You talk a bit about your formal training and any of the teachers that you've had along the way that's helped you become ultimately the Soul Rebels brass band.
Well, all of us are really like college educated. You know, a lot of us we all started in high school marching bands, middle school marching bands, and everything, and that plays a big part of what we do. We have a couple of guys and the ones that went to St. Augustine High School and Marching 100. Got Sarah T. Reed, John F. Kennedy, and a couple of guys went on the band with Marv, Texas Southern. 2 of the guys, Derek and Marcus with Southern University, Elwood Jackson State University, Xavier University, Dillon University. Corey went to Berkeley College of Music. And we're all spread out a whole bunch of different genres. We all had that structure, that foundation that where when we get in this group, it's structures, foundation, is everything that we do. So marching band was the biggest thing for us. You know, growing up in New Orleans. I mean, people in New Orleans, they look at marching band players as like superstars. Like where else? You know, they're the geeks, they're the nerds, and everything. You have people that come to football games. They come just for the
I did too.
You know, they'll come just for the bands. So we just always been looked at as like superstars in music. So as we branched off into jazz and in the brass band world and everything, it all came natural to us. And Soul Rebels, we try to feed off of that bunch of band vibe. You know, that's how we arrange songs. That's how we do different dance moves and everything like that. So just with our culture in New Orleans, that was a big thing for us.
I mean, speaking about the marching band influence, that's one of the things that I'm particularly a fan of, because it's like you have jazz as sort of the umbrella, but then you also have these different branches and offshoots. As black music is, it's an offshoot of everything, and it's, everything is a cousin to it. So you got hip hop and rock and funk, as you mentioned. How is the jazz community at large accepted that? Since you're clearly jazz, but you're so many other things as well.
I mean, I have to be candid. It's something that has had to grow on the jazz community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're automatically accepted visually because we're so acoustic and organic, you know, with the sousaphone and the trumpets, the trombones and the saxophone and the two drums.
Yeah.
Jazz people look at us like, that's beautiful, that's a blast from the past, that's the authentic beginnings.
Yeah.
But once we start playing, they're kind of like, hold up now, this is some new wave, progressive stuff that we didn't expect. And early on, we caught a lot of flack from the purists of jazz. But as time has went on, and I really attribute it to the evolution of communication.
Yeah.
You know, things have interrelated now with the internet and with the way people can communicate instantaneously across the world, that ideas can travel faster.
Yeah.
So once we were able to progressively get better in our craft and go to different parts of the world and play, the jazz world accepted us more and more.
You wanna survive, yeah. I said keep it moving, stay on your grind, yeah. You gotta hustle, leave all your haters behind, yeah. It's complicated game, you can't fight. I made it, no, they don't mean to I made it. Some shit on I made it. I'm talking things to the way I made it. I made it, I made it. I don't mean to I made it. Some shit on I made it. I'm talking things to the way I made it. I made it. See what she's all about to the top as I thought of me. The way she told him I started like me. Steady success in my future and I want to see. Gonna have it with the team that surrounded me. We making you better than a couple of minutes ago.
We have to lay our hats off to the Wynton Marcelluses and the Branfords. Branford was real instrumental, I would have to say, and he probably doesn't know this in a lot of what we did, because when he came out with Buckshot LaFunk, his early piece, Soul Rebels was in its infancy. And we really loved what that was. That was a hip-hop collab with a jazz bass, and that's what we wanted to be.
Wow.
So he came to one of our shows, I remember, in Austin, Texas in the early 90s. He liked what we were doing, and from there we always have had a bond with Branford.
Yeah.
So if he likes it, I mean, we kind of say, well, if he likes it, it's good.
Then it's all right. What's, as you're talking about, I mean, you guys have played all over the world and back. What's been the most surprising reaction that you've received from an audience in your travels?
Yeah, we've had a bunch. First time we were in England. Very upright, you know, crowd. You know, we're playing in a big theater, about 2,000-3,000 people, and everything. So, Queen Elizabeth Hall.
Oh, okay,
Queen Elizabeth Hall.
Yeah.
We did a thing where we started from the back and did like a sort of like a second line thing, and we started from the back and walked through the crowd and everything. And it was surprising to them because they're not really used to that type of thing. They might be used to like the Olympias and Dirt Dozens of the world, where or more like traditional jazz or anything where it's just on stage and everything. But for us, like we started like the second line thing, and we got up on stage. And I think for a band that's doing just a bunch of like hip hop, a bunch of funk and everything like that, it was surprising, and they really took to it.
Yeah.
They really took to it. It was surprising because, we're younger guys, so you might say the average age of the crowd might have been 60, 70, or something like that. They really took to it. They really enjoyed it. Here has been an experience here in Haiti. This has definitely been an experience. Because they've definitely took to it, and plus like with that New Orleans, that Haiti connection, like we've been seeing that the whole time we've been here. So last night they like really took to it. It was really shocking. It was really refreshing.
I was telling Ron earlier, y'all had the crowd to its feet, but y'all particularly had the women up front dancing.
Yeah, we always do a special tune for the ladies. And whoever wants to come up, but we do one special for the ladies. Because, a woman, as we feel, is the essence of beauty. So if you could get to the ladies, you probably get to the rest of the crowd. But to parallel it and tag off of Iran's energy, one time we did an AARP convention.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe the corporate sponsorship that organization gets.
Wow.
And we were so honored to be chosen. But they really wanted what we did.
That's
they wanted
beautiful.
a more lively,
Yeah.
danceable type music. And man, we had the crowd going crazy in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
They rented out one of the biggest arenas there, facilities, and we were the headliners. Yeah, for one night. And even our own management was surprised at how we got the AARP participants up.
We had no clue.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it was gonna be like
and Metallica, I think that was a big.
Wow.
Yeah, that was another.
Okay.
When they saw us in London.
Yeah. In fact, that was that same trip.
Yeah.
That in Queen Elizabeth Hall, we had saw Metallica the night before.
Oh, okay.
Jules Harlan show.
Oh, yeah, I love you.
And we met Lawrence.
Okay.
Outside, we were standing outside waiting on our ride to go back to the hotel.
That's dope.
And he said, "Man, we're gonna work with you guys. We're gonna work with you. You know, we taking it as it's Metallica."
We thinking it's the corporate response of y'all were great. We're gonna do something and shake a hand and that's it. But before the tour was over, they had already called our management and set up another tour. We were like, oh Lord, we're gonna have to go back on the road. But we were excited, we were ecstatic. And they even brought us back for their own fest, the Orion Fest. And so we have a good relationship with them. There's some great musicians.
Wow. It's interesting because when I think about the history of this music, it definitely, I mean, it was the music of the day. It was the popular music with the big bands and the Ford, you know. And now I feel like it's come full circle because, you know, you guys incorporate jazz, but so many other. Can you speak to that? Do you feel like it's coming full circle, or do you feel that it's an offshoot of what we do with black music and black culture in terms of constantly evolving and, you know?
It definitely has to be a part of each of those entities. It has to be an offshoot and it has to be a full circle innovation because definitely by instrumentation, we're organic. And that's something you can open a history book and see. Sousaphone, trumpet, two separate drummers. But when you talk about the music repertoire and some of the things we incorporate with it, that's the full circle. This other. I mean, we're just trying to make everyday people appreciate our music like everyday people appreciated a Michael Jackson,
Right, absolutely.
Duke Ellington,
Absolutely.
or Rolling Stones. You know, we love all those groups. So that's our goal, to try to get Soul Rebels music to the rest of the world.
So as you mentioned at the start of this interview that it's, is it the entire band's first time here in Haiti?
Yes.
What has your experience being here been like? You've been here for just about a week?
Yeah, we got here on Tuesday,
Okay.
and it's been an incredible experience for us. We've been to the museums, we've done 2 workshops with some music students here and everything, and it's been wonderful. The response was enormous.
Okay.
You know, just with the question and answer and explaining to them about like New Orleans culture, New Orleans jazz and everything, but also explaining our own music and everything. So just doing that, and the show last night was incredible, and learning about the correlation between Haiti and New Orleans.
Yes.
And the Haitian Creole influence that's in New Orleans, and we learning like basically we're here where our ancestors were.
That's what this about. You were taking orders from a boss, couldn't stand it. Still making paper, though. My paper taking slow. Rolling at the hood, these boys no fashion show. With a pound of smoke and an ounce of dope. Put some little weight for your boys so my feet can grow. Yes, I got lucky. Then I brought it way up in the quarters from my trumpet doing school days. Dog, I'm in a hurry, so don't try to judge me. Besides, tell the truth, keep it Banana Republic. World class, up a bunch of I've seen. Cold blue moon, on the street. High speed, getting jealous when I'm rocking J level spit. Hard as nickel fist stuff. Yo, I said it ain't no love like the heart of sin. Say what? It ain't no love like the heart of sin. Said I was born in the city of the pity, break the hand when I'm trying to run the trouble till you know my name was made. Saw so many families, the ignorance was down.
prayer. You take my bill, put your niggas down, toast to the better life. I'm trying to the day, amazing that shit you turn around, I feel this person that I'm versing on the track sounding ill. If I was accusing, I would say that it was real. Since I'm moving on the spin, I gotta keep it real. See, I'm a fucking line, the wheels so free, rock, every time back after the shit. See, that's what I'm saying, the track that I feel. I'm a play back to back, and you know that it's real. Yeah, hard ass shit, yeah. Say what, say what, ain't no love. Yeah, I like the hard town. Everybody put your hands up, 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 put your hands up. Jump, jump, it's the hard knock life. Put 'em up, put 'em up. Hey, ladies.
Are all of you native New Orleanians?
Yes.
Oh, so I mean that must resonate with you on a deeper level.
It was so surreal. I mean, you wouldn't imagine the emotion that bubbled inside of us when we went to the museum. Saw the history of suffrage and passage and ultimately the success of what our ancestors accomplished through their freedom. You know, here in Haiti,
Yeah.
Tucson, the overture.
Yeah. Yep.
And just to have tangible
Yeah.
connectedness to his tomb. And the tour guide was so excellent in articulating how everything came about. You know, it kind of makes a tear swell up in your eye, but it's a tear that's full of pride and joy because Haiti is really strong. They're resilient people like New Orleans. You know, with Katrina, we had to overcome so much.
Absolutely.
And then definitely with the earthquake, my God.
That's the big thing I took away.
These people are so strong and beautiful. And, we have a correlation together.
That's the big thing I'm taking away from this whole trip. That they went through this earthquake in 2010. We went through Hurricane Katrina and everything. So you see the similarities. You're in a country that's rebuilding. And you see it every day. I mean, we were riding down the street, they still had bulldozers picking up trash in here. And I remember the same thing in New Orleans. They had bulldozers riding down my street picking up trash. People trying to rebuild their lives and everything. And I think the resiliency, the strength of the people is what resonates with this band. As we come here, we see these people because we were in that exact same situation.
Wow. Given that there is this obvious connection between Haiti and New Orleans for so many different reasons, historically, culturally, musically, do you see a more tangible connection happening maybe between Haitian musicians and New Orleans musicians in the years to come, outside of just the festival?
I definitely think it can happen. I hope it would. I mean, the rhythms are naturally embellished and meshed together. So that part is easy. It probably just would physically be the distance. But we can definitely, in our shows and repertoire in the States, play more Haitian rhythms and let the crowd know it's a Haitian rhythm that we easily identify with in America. And hopefully they can do that here and that can get the 8-ball rolling. Definitely, that would be a goal of ours.
I would personally love to see that myself.
We would definitely love to do that.
Any advice that you may have for up and coming musicians?
Keep working. That's all I can tell you. Keep working, stay diligent, and be yourself. No matter what anybody tries to throw at you, no matter what anybody tells you that you can't do. Always be yourself. Always. That's what my big thing is.
Definitely, as a musician, you have to have an open ear. You have to be willing to listen to music that you're not used to hearing. And you'll be able to hear the similarities in the music, hopefully. And just be open-minded as a musician. Like Iran said, work is hard.